Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Factorio. And you might see some unfamiliar stuff based on what you might have seen last episode. Now, I mentioned that I would do the copper, and as you can see, there is plenty of copper around. Yeah, alright, well, let's start zooming out and just process the whole thing as to where I got busy, okay? And I did all the research that it required only red potions. This one happens to require green, but it was kind of one of those hinging things I wanted to get out of the way. It was what I wanted to have ready for this episode. So, splitter, this goes off to the copper, and, you know, the steel. I said I was going to get steel at some point in time, so it just happened to unlock. So steel is here, and it simply requires, I think, five bars. Yeah, okay, 5 bars. So I just took the output belt here for the steel and just kind of just did a natural progression further. Little janky thing there, and then another split off here, off that way. This stuff is just simply going to a dead end right now. So we've got the entire mining setup there done, and they're just all go way over. Like I said, I was going to stretch it over here so that we could work with the copper on the other side. Whenever we gain control of that, we can just strip that down here and continue in that regards. Since I want to go with the left or westerly direction for everything. So it's the same setup here as I had for the iron. Converting into iron bars, it's just copper into copper bars, and I just don't think we're going to worry about copper for quite some time. Another output just in case we need it. And there's the wood that was remaining from the old project, but I don't know. I'll find some use for that. Maybe I need some power lines and I don't feel like chopping wood at some point in time. That reminds me, last episode I might have seemed a little bit out of it. Yeah, you chop a few thousand trees and tell me if you don't feel like your brain's turned off like it's assembly line work at some point. So yeah, there's that. So apologies for that. I think that's the influence there. My brain just shut off after chopping down a few thousand trees. Alright, so also I just added more steam engines. I was trying to find stuff to do while I was doing stuff, and I decided to get the power out of the way. So it's reading at a 4.5 or something like that. That's because none of the stuff's really running except for the stuff that processing the steel. And yeah, so, but nonetheless, we have 40 of these at 510, 2200 or something like that. Yeah, 2 point. No, I can't math right now. 22,000, 22 megawatts or something like that. Yeah, this finally finished, and yeah, we're gonna hold off on any more research at this point in time. So what I wanted military 2 for was the piercing magazines, which do more damage, 5 plus a 0.5 physical, which I'm going to guess is based on my bullet damage bonuses from research. So 2 versus 5. 5 is a little more hefty. Now the price is a little bit higher as well. Instead of 2 iron plates, it's the equivalent of 5 iron plates and 5 copper plates, except processed into steel. So that's one thing I want to do, is just have a process of those going at some point in time. So we're going to end up splitting this off and splitting this off, and just have a little substation here of armor piercing. But we're also going to try and set up getting the copper, the steel, and the iron going this direction. And, well, I suppose we don't have to worry about the coal. Heading off this direction so that we can branch off in either direction to make projects as we go along and start processing stuff. So with that said, this setup right here is not going to function in its current iteration, so I'll just take it all out. It's fine. It made its stockpile and maxed it out, and that's all I'm looking for. It's enough to freely use stuff for a while, and I'm happy with that. So we're going to cut this back a little bit. And we're actually going to go this way with it. So, yeah, this still functions. So what I want to do is just kind of cut the space a little bit and go something like that going to work? Yeah, it kind of works. Whatever. We'll set a new balance. We'll set a bunch of balancers later on. So these two lines come along. And we're just going to, I think, just simply drop them down in height, because what do we have for space here? I'm sure that we can get rid of this power pole in some regards. Or we can do a series of underground belts. Ooh. Random lag spike. I don't know what that was about, but hey. Actually, yeah, I'm going to send this along in its current iteration. We don't have to do fancy tricks. This is going to have to go. That's fine. Put my belts down here. I was trying to clean up, see if I had enough inventory for things. So we're just going to plop you up there. I don't know what's relevant, what's not. So, sure. Okay, so that. And we're going to need our underground belts. And splitters. Let's try and get this stuff transferred over here so we can start our automation and make stuff not in our pocket, because keep in mind, all this so far has been done out of pocket pretty much, okay? So I don't want to be crafting stuff myself anymore. Let's just say that. Just leaving this go for about 10 minutes and walking away is yeah. I'm done with it. So, how many belts do we have? We have enough. So what we're doing is sending this across, and we can bring it right up to, and like so, and same thing for you. Bring you right up to, and we're going to send you that way. Send you up this way. This is going to have to go, slip right in there, I think. Yeah, we can slip that in there. No problem. Ah, these chests are now in the way, which is fine. I mean, we're going to get rid of them eventually. Let's just hit up an underground for now. And we're probably going to do another underground here in some regards. No, we can straight line this. And once we get past these engines, we're good to go. I could move the engines, which is probably not a big job either. But no. I want to reserve this kind of space for the engines freely. Which means that if we send the copper along here, it's going to slightly... whatever. I can change it at the time, or I can just start resolving it over here. There's no big deal. Okay, so we want 2 rows for the copper. You can die. I don't think I actually need you. You go here, here, and you recognize that. All right, good. So that's our underground. You didn't select that, did you? Nope. All right, so you go up here, you go here, and you go here, like so. And along you come. And along you come. And you go to the other side. The chest's get in the way again. You come all the way up here. In fact, I'm just going to lead you up to the end here, while it leads me up to the end. There we go. So we've got our steel and our iron. And we want to swing these around right about here. Here. Yes. Something like that. I'm sure I planned this out perfectly. Actually, I didn't. In the slightest. So what I want to do is I want to underground here and send it across. And then I want this underground here. Is that correct? Yes. Send that across. Okay, and then this can go here, kill that, and then this one can be sent across. So this one's here. You, and then that one's across, and we just need a match. Like so. And we just give ourselves a nice little bit of space as we're going to do this. So just, what are we looking for space? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd say right about here, actually. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the amount of space we start here. That's what I'm wanting. Okay, so this will give us 2 rows of copper. This is unnecessary. It's unnecessary. I don't see any flashy power stuff, so we're good there. So this is going to be what they class in Factorio as a main bus. Just basically a line of all your product, and then you just use stuff like splitters to split off however much you need and reroute it with underground shenanigans like this off to, you know, you have the line going like this, and you just have a little station over here. Like, one of the things that you may notice is very early game that we might want to do first. Well, belts. Iron gear wheels. Iron gear wheels are very important. I mean, if we make iron gear wheels station, then we can suddenly make a belt station. And then we don't have to craft belts out of pocket, for example. And they're kind of a prerequisite for other things, but that's kind of irrelevant. I'm just making a point. So you here, you here. I'm sure I could underground the... You know what? I'm sure it's not a big deal. That's the thing. You could always come back and edit it later, so it's no big deal. So we got our iron, we got our copper roots, and then we can just work from there. So what I really want to start on is a iron gear wheel section. Is this relevant? Does this connect to anything? What if I were to take this out? Here. I suppose here. Oh dear God, the whole thing went dark. Okay, so that one's necessary, which means that we can probably reroute power like so, and still necessary, which means that we need to reroute power through some means over here. If all that's dark, that should do it, hopefully. Yeah, let's just take that out now. Looks like we're good. Did I not put lights down here? Do lights work? Lights work fine. Absolutely fine down here. All right, good. Power's rerouted. Everything looks good. And so now we start here with the iron gear wheels and so on and so forth. So let's make that our first project. Let's give ourselves tons of space. Let's drag it on for a little while, because we may want to have these engines actually extending to the left. So let's just bring it up to about here. That'll give us a couple projects worth of space. And we'll just bring the whole thing along. There's no harm in that. We can just split off whenever we want. That's fine. And there we go. Also, all the walls are in check. By the way, the pollution has reached them. They do regularly attack now, but the whole setup, there's enough bullets on there, the regular bullets, to do fine until we get there with the armor-piercing stuff. Also, I wanted to make that sort of minor station on the side. Yeah, let's get the gear wheels first. Let's get a proper advancement to the base and stop dealing with combat every single time. So we have one assembling machine. Let's go with a couple. So I have assembling machines too. They were just part of the research, part of red research, so no big deal. We have our second tier, nothing special. And we have two. And how many do we want to make here? How many iron gear wheels do we want? I'm thinking a whole ton of them. I would love to have a whole bunch. So we have 4, and I don't think that's even sufficient. Let's just do the other 3. I don't even know what materials it was making. So, fine. But you see all this. I mean, we need the gear wheels. We need the electronic circuits as well. Which comes from copper cables, by the way. As you can see, yeah, iron plate and copper cable. So, that'll be another thing. Green circuits are very important. So, let's see, give ourselves enough space to about here. I mean, it looks good to me. Not expanding the belt too much at this point, I suppose. Well, I mean, we're probably going to be adding a row. Let's just picture this. So you got your steel still here. That's fine. And then we're probably dealing with probably some underground belt tricks where iron gear wheels will start here. And then we have our iron and we have our copper path, I suppose, if you want to take a look at it that way. I'm just going to do it that way for this means. I mean, you can do it however you want, and I'm just doing it randomly like that this time. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's probably enough right here. Let's just say right here. So we want... Okay, 7 rows of iron gears. Replenishes quite nicely. It's going to look taxing on the iron at first because of the initial crafting of it. So let's say right about here. And we're probably going to be coming from about here. So we'll just have it naturally merge in. So all the iron gear wheels come down there and join the main bus. Now we need to get the iron plates up there. There's a couple means, of course, of doing that. And we can just go with a simple method here, I think. But something like that. I'm putting it off to the side like, yeah, I'll just put it over here while I deal with this, and then I'll pick it up. Just kind of had a realistic, weird approach to it. But whatever. So we're just going to do that and send the steel on through. There we go. And then this one can continue like so, like nothing ever happened. And we'll split it so that the belts balance out the remainder. So it's not too taxing on this one line and the average comes out. So if something is just as taxing, then it's just going to continue down the line. So this adds an interesting scenario where that goes right up the middle. Now, let's have this look fancy and nice and neat and organized and offer ourselves a ton of space, because that's what we do. That's what we're going to do, because there's no real space that way that we have to worry about. So let's set this up as it's important to go, because the only end goal is it has to be on this line. That said, there. So we have to be here-ish. So please give me the assembler. So we need one space, which means that one goes away. And that's pretty much where we have to be. So we're making wheels there. And up we go. Nice and simple. And down we go. And let's also do it while we're completely drunk. So, no, don't go down there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So clearly I can't handle a mouse properly. Now, this requires 2 iron to make 1 wheel. So, 1, 2. I don't know how fast they craft, but we're going to definitely find out. And see how this goes. We'll run our experiment here in a second, but basically it's going to poop out 1 on the other side. That's fine. And we'll have a whole bunch of power lines on the other side. Please make that uniform. Thank you. And you go away. So, pardon me. Sorry to interrupt your autosave. Can we get those? Perfect. Nice and uniform on the other side too. And that gets that. Perfect. Working out like a charm. There. Now there's only one last thing that's very important. Of course. We're going to just set lights up on this side. Like so. That doesn't look nearly... Yeah, whatever. Who cares? It looks pretty. Look at my pretty work. We'll just... There. All right. So it's clearly not doing anything, which we need to definitely remedy. So we want you to make... Well, let's check the menu with the gear wheels. Well, that's definitely working. So what is it? Shift left click? No. Either that or my shift key was screwy. Shift right click? Left, 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 left. I can't remember the left and the rights, but holy crap, look at that thing flying out gear wheels now. Now, we do have an issue where, as you can see, they're just kind of all on one side. We can definitely remedy that. Let's just move this light and just set up a nice scenario. So we want a splitter on here. I can't navigate a splitter. So there we go. So they'll all spew on to the other side. Nice and balanced. And those seem to be spitting them out rather quickly, wouldn't you say? I mean, you know, quick enough, at least. Just throw that light down here. Let's have everything nice and bright so everyone at home can see. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to take that as just fine. We don't need to balance it to milk out every last little bit because we're going to be using them up like crazy soon enough. So let's just set the new limit to the belts so that everything is right in its happy place. Kind of have a copper patch here, and I suppose we can do a little project down here, which is fine. So let's just set that up and set these up as well so that we're nice and level and that we're not really trying to predict any large amount of belts. We'll get to the belts very shortly, of course. All right, so we're making gear wheels, which really limits crafting very much. Actually, do I need defenses for... Let's get back to that later. Let's get the other core pieces to things. So gear wheels, the important thing to look at for gear wheels is this. Science Pack 1s, the red science packs. So we have gear wheels, copper plates. We can make science packs and throw them off into a research station. Red's covered. But we're on the green requirements as well, which require inserters and transporter belts, which also have their own chain of stuff. So, I mean, if we look, transporter belts, iron plate, iron gear wheel. We're going to need a station for that. And then inserters, circuit gear wheel plate. So we're going to need a circuit cell and a circuit city and also a place for inserters. So we're going to have a few stations on the go, and oh dear God, not more trees. Why did it have to be trees? All right, start from the basics. We want to get reds going right off the get-go. How about that? We'll make a red station and have that out of the way. You can figure out where to put the research stations at any point in time. I mean, you just do it to convenience, usually probably something like parallel to it, so that as you get more stations as you go along, then you can just easily say we just throw them way the heck up here. And then we just eventually route them here, and then later down the line we route the advanced ones the other way, sort of thing. Also, I have a menu open in my face. For what reasons, I don't know. So copper iron gear wheel, we can do that. We can do that fairly easily. I'm thinking that's not enough space. I'm also thinking that we might want just green circuits on here, and we can do the research later. Let's get the prerequisites today. How about that? Let's get the basic requirements and then bullets, and then reroute the bullets or something like that, so that that's all set up, and I can start maybe advancing on this next episode, for example, and getting them out of the way and finally getting that copper so we never have to worry about it. So, circuits. Are you kidding me? I'm out of belts. Maybe belts first. Actually, belts first is probably not a bad idea. I don't see any reason why not, because the belts just require the iron gear wheels, which is the natural next progression. And then the inserters require the circuit, which would be the next progression of that particular one. I see no downside to that. Also, we could probably do an extension by some means here. Actually, that's perfect. But we need belts. We need belts to make belts. Oh, that's terrible. Let's pick up some iron. Do we need copper as well? Yeah, we have 12 copper bars, so yes. That is an absolute yes. So, this is a nice storage to keep those kind of things going. And, yeah, you just make those for a while, and I'll come back to you later. And pick up some iron just so that we have a trace amount. That's fine. That's more than enough, to be honest. That being said, let's balance it out in case we need to craft. Thank you, autosave. Alright, perfect. Look at how bright this place gets. You know what the extra fun part of it is? Light bulbs are the second highest consuming source right now. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, you get 1 megawatt. All 7 radars are 2 as the highest one. It's got 200 freaking lights. But it's pretty. That's the important part. It's pretty. All right. So we need more assemblers. That would be the other thing. So I might have to cancel some of these operations, but we have quite a few belts. That's fine. So we want to have... Did I just make 10? They're 10 down the chain. And they're not too far away, honestly. So we can work with the belts for now. We want to swing this one around. Let's not get too crazy with this. Let's just simply run it across and set it up for another series. So we have one space for... is there a planning? What's the planning mode? Something like that. So we need the one space for the inserter. One. Let's clear that. One. Please. 1, 2. The left and right clicks are messing with me. So how wide is this? 1, 2, 3. 3. One space for the other side, and the belts come down here. All right. That's planning mode for you, and it helps kind of figure that out if you figure out how to do planning mode. Anyway. So we'll just bring this down most of the way, and our end result is going to be on this line, I suppose, and we can join that in at some point here. So let's just prop this down here, and then we'll do we have long-handed inserters? Yes, so that's not a problem either. We'll bring those down, and we have our 5 machines, so we'll just set... Will that be sufficient? Yeah, that'll be sufficient. I'm actually going to raise that particular inserter by 1. That's a lot. To be honest, that's quite a bit for belts. That's probably overkill, so I'm going to actually tone this down. And I'm actually going to set them lower. Right about here seems good to me. And they'll just pick them off as they come, all the gear wheels. I'm not highly concerned about high production other than probably putting fast inserters on here. And then that's about it. So we'll just set another set here. And then a series of long inserters the other way. Now we can set this on the belt. No, I'm gonna say that we can toss them down on the copper category, because we're gonna need a couple lines for belts. There's also another janky chain you can do here, where you can probably pull off of them and make reds, but like if you set it up properly, because the do we have the capacity for the red belts? No, we don't. We still have the yellows. But the reds, if we look at them, logistics 2, yes. The reds are 5-iron gear wheels and transport belts. So the gear wheels are the upgrade. So technically, if you were to put them here and then pull them off, you could do the same thing, sort of thing. So that is a possibility. Let's just set a light and oh, that's too many lights in one spot. You go down here. You be nice there. Let's be nice and inefficient with our power. That's the way it goes. So here and here. And apparently that one light has to be a rebel. So we have that set up. Everything's good. All right, so we want to make transport belts. Nah. Oh, that's going to definitely spit out a whole ton of belts. So now our belts are no problem. We can plan out our belts perfectly fine. But there we go. All of them are working, and now they're going to be furiously pumping them out. And we have to get them down to the other side. Also, 4 wide is the limit of how long you want to have these for this simple purpose. You can see that the undergrounds only kind of have that limit. So you can duck and weave in between them. And there you go. You have them on the other side. And then we have this 4 gap of space, which is more than sufficient. We're going to simply just put these... Actually, where do we want to... Yeah, we'll do this, and we'll only do a series of 1 undergrounds down here. And we're coming up to our limit pretty close here. So we want something about here. here, and we'll just do a little wrap around. That's fine. There you go, and that. There we go. And they'll just run along. I suppose we could do a double up. I mean, we got room to double up here because we're not actually doing anything. And that way we have belts for about forever. So we'll just, there we go. And they'll do that. And while they're doing that, I'm just going to put this here with power line and a chest. There we go. And so they'll furiously spit those out for a little while. And then when that wears off, then we've got them on the chain doing nothing for a while. So I'd say that's more than enough for keeping our belt supply going for now. I mean, as you saw, the belts kind of replace themselves, and all you need is iron gear wheels. So the initial output of belts, no big deal. This is basically our belts for the game with minor modifications. And at certain points, we'll probably end up using less belts, so return on investment, I guess. We'll use them towards the science packs, the green science packs at that point in time. So we have part of our way towards green science packs. We kind of need to set up a chip factory, and I think that's the last of our space required. I didn't want to make anything grand. Well, I suppose this is relatively large for iron gears. Relatively. I mean, it sped them up pretty quick. I mean, we could always just keep extending up as things go on anyway, which also applies to this. If we extend the gear wheels up, we can extend these up, and then we can make the reds just below them. Yeah, okay, that's future improvements. We've got our future planned out. Perfect. And we never have to worry about belts for a while now. As you can see, that's just spitting them out faster than we can use them. So that's exactly what we want. So they come along. There. Now we need to make circuits. Circuits, copper, wire, and what was it? Copper wire and iron gear wheel? Let's go to the circuits. I can't recall. Iron plate and copper cable. Okay, so just one of these bad boys then. We can handle that. So that would mean that we need a splitter here that we can run up, and another splitter to balance the remainder. There we go. Let's send this across so that we have a reference point of when we need to cross over. So something like that. Yeah, I suppose. Let's just run it up in behind so that we kind of get our maximized space. Kind of know what's going on here. There's not going to be much adjustment to it. Maybe the blues down the road. The blue belts, which are pretty much the last upgrade for that. So we're good there. And even so, that looks like enough space. Even leaving the one gap is still enough space for that. So we're good to go. Minor modifications and all that good stuff. So let's send up these. I don't know how we're going to set this up, but basically we're going to be making copper coils on site because putting them onto a belt just clusters the belt and the belt won't keep up. That's as simple as that. It won't. Now, a situation like this, we can just simply branch off and it's no big deal. And we want to be branching off right about here, and then we'll just send it underground up to the other side like so, which means that, hey, that's the wrong spot for the splitter. I'm terrible at this apparently. So one of those to balance out the remainder, and in you go. And so we just send this one up here, and then we could send it across, which our imaginary gap that we can't get across. And we want to set these up first. This is, I'm thinking we might just want to return it back down the other direction. I mean, we got it over here. In fact, that's probably a waste having it here, to be honest. We probably don't need all this here. We'll probably just split it at the appropriate time. So that might be an error. And I'll just fix it at the time. But for now, let's just continue on. So how many green circuits do I want to make? How many green circuits do I want to make? Don't get me wrong, I kind of respect how many green circuits we need to make. So it's something like that. And we're going to want to set this up. I'm not sure how this is supposed to set up, but there's a certain balancing act here. So we can set up something like this. And it's a balance between the two. We want to have something like this. If I recall correctly, it's kind of like this. So basically, it's already been found out and recognized and well known that you do a 3-to-2 ratio for the copper coils to the green circuits. So that's why I'm doing this kind of setup. Just simple enough for that. And you do that for a while I figure out the rest. So we want to make tons of this stuff. So we want to make sure that the balance is accurate as well. So that is not accurate, which means that this is off. We want these shrunk in because I'm apparently an idiot. Okay, so give me that and you give me you. Let's go back to basics here. So we want as many of these piling in as possible. That's pretty much covered there. Now, with these balances, we want the 3-to-2 ratio. So 3 are going in from here, and 3 are coming in from here. Each producing 2 into the next one, as you can see. 2 inserters into this from this one, 2 inserters, 1 each into this one. So it's an even 3 and 3, as you can see. And there you go. It's all nice and even, 3-to-2 ratio, and it'll get those at the same rate as whatever copper we send around to the other side, wherever. There you are, copper. So we want to duplicate these a couple times as well. That's why I did it so high up, although I'm sure I could have maximized space if I decide to set it up any differently. If I started from the bottom, that is. But hey, whatever. We're human. So we have another 12. We can do the exact same thing. I'm just going to do one more just for simplicity's sake. So we want 1, 2, 3, and 2 just slightly like that. Did I get that right? I did not get that right. This one is up by 1. There. Same thing. Inserters all along here as fast as we can get them. And again here, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. And then, of course, we want to bring in the iron from the other side. So we'll just iron. How fast do we need? Let's monitor the iron. I actually don't know that particular half of it. You make the rest of the world pretty. There. Okay. We don't have space for you in this particular operation, lights. So we want to bring the iron up. And we'll just... Am I out of belts? Well, seems that we may have a solution for that. I think there's a solution around here somewhere. How many is the... Oh, God. All right. Let's just run with 200 for the moment. That's nice to have out of the way because that was taking some time to make 200, honestly. That felt like a feat to get that kind of thing done. So we'll just run this around the top. And, I mean, we can adjust later. This is kind of... Ow! Freaking copper. You're done there at that point. Give me that stuff. There we go. All right. Okay, so iron comes down here and runs kind of indefinitely into trees, or just runs the whole way. I mean, I'm cool with that too. No combat, oddly enough. I mean, has anyone seen any triangles come up today? Let's just have... Wait, this goes this way. I'm an idiot. Here and here, and we'll just monitor this because this is pretty much maxed out on this side, so we'll just make enough to keep up on this side. Okay, that said, we can probably fit one light here and one light here, and probably make this world a little better here. Now, can we power this with these lights? Or, I suppose, yes. The answer is yes. We can do it. Something like that. Very, very nice. Okay, so, and we want to balance those. You can come in on the other side, and these ones can be powered from over here. So 5 at a time. Get off the belt. And one more. And it all looks absolutely pretty. You can come off. There we go. Yeah, it looks... No, we needed that for the light. Go figure. Okay, okay, okay. So now, we want to set these to the coils. Coils. Seems consistent enough. Until it stops, of course, because we don't have anywhere for it to go. So, from the looks of things, looks pretty good. Now, let's set green circuits. And we'll take a look at that here in a second when we get the off-put going. That being said, we may have to be careful about those particular... yeah, I'm just going to fit these in where I can. And we'll take a look. And maybe it's perfectly balanced as is, and we don't have to worry. But for now, let's set this to go downward. And we need that right about here. So there's it making circuits right now. In fact, I want to just make a quick overflow for the moment. Tree, not today. Yeah, let's just put it there. I don't care right now. You get power from something. There. Pull that away so that we can see how this is going. And I suppose we can go to the top one. That looked okay to me. Is it having any issues keeping up, or is it just slightly a little too slow? Maybe our inserters are kind of limited at this point in time. I'm going to chalk it up to our inserters limited at this point in time. But this is probably a good start to chips. I mean, we're keeping up with at least partially keeping up with one demand. Yeah, that seems to keep balance with it for now. We're not overloading, are we? That's exactly what it is. We're overloaded for now. Those long-handed inserters can't keep up for the moment. Okay, so we need to double up the long-handed. That's fine. Okay, so you pull out. Giggity. You pull out. We're still okay. And we need one more here. And if we can fit it, one more here. And figure out where our power goes from here. There, and sure. Okay, so we pulled it off with small power poles. That reminds me. I kind of stumbled about saying that. We can make with steel eventually. I suppose if we need to get the green, that's what we need. Electric energy distribution, which gives us medium electric poles, supply area 7x7. I think we're on a current 5x5, and this is a 4x4, but the big electric poles cover things like this, where we got this line here, and you can put one pole here and one pole way the heck like over here, and they'll connect. They're long distance poles. But these, yeah, they're something like 5x5 if I recall correctly. Let's, can I... Oops. No, oh crap. I just disconnected that pole. Whoops. There, simple enough. Okay, so, yeah, I believe these are 5x5. Or, yeah, 5x5, and the other ones are 7x7, which help for having less of this spam, and you can just fit them on the outside or something like that. So this is pretty good. We've got our green, we've got our belts here, and we've got our gear wheels. We've got quite a bit of the basic elements for most of the crafts for the next range of the game. Last thing we need to do, if we can pull it off, is just get some ammunition that I can ship over here at a later date. With that said, we need steel and copper, which is very simple to do here. Pardon me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. So we're just going to cut in here. Seems to be an appropriate location. We're just going to spin over here. And we're just going to underground this. Fine, be that way. Underground this over. You go up. We don't need much. We just need enough for the bullets. So with that said, should we be combining belts for this? I suppose there's no harm in combining belts for this one purpose if it's just a single station. So let's put these here. And combining belts, I mean something like not that. Okay, so I'm just going to do this in the simplest method I can think of, which is not. We're doing something like that, and we're just doing something like that. Okay, so our copper gets on there, our steel gets on there, and a series of inserters can just simply pull off that. And they'll pick what they need. So we don't need anything particularly fast for this, I don't think. They're not generally fast. Well, we do need 5 copper per. So let's... I'm an idiot and I can't aim. There. Also giggity. Alright, so we want to have 1, 2, 3... Let's have 4 stations. I think... with no interference. This is, again, temporary because we're probably going to have these running over at some point in time. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. So, I got really ambitious here. Let's just take all this stuff off and there we go. Nice and even. Good. You power, and you get a belt. And this will be the end of the episode when we finally get this going, just so you know. So if you want to cut out now, then I understand. Be that way. I don't have feelings. It's okay. Oh yeah, we have one more. All right, well, I mean, sure. So as you can see, they're just pulling both things off. And you don't want to typically combine belts unless you're probably doing some sort of limited end item. Like, you're probably never using this item on the belt again. Just send the rest to the end, and it's fine, and you have less complication. But beyond that, no. You want to actually use up and have the throughput of 2 belts. So we're going to just send another belt here. Perfect. And I'm going to send this... Well, I suppose they're going upwards at some point in time. So we're going to try and match... Oh, pardon me. I drank way too much tea. I'm a little burpy. But it's just... I'm holding it off the whole episode. So if you hear me pause and do a little... that's mostly me trying to hold it back. But whatever. Okay, so we can send this through here maybe. If every tree on the planet didn't oppose us. Damn you, Mother Nature. You're even concealing the one that's doing it. You're hiding... Oh, you son of a... Get out of here, freaking trees. I'm done with you. Is there something up here? Oh, whatever. Go away, tree. Oh, hello, tree. Goodbye, tree. So this is now our upgrade that's going along this chain, and it'll eventually burn out this supply here. As you can see, I've got a kind of thing to take in priority for the moment, but it's fine. And it matches right up to that. Do our 200 belts do the job, or are we going to run short? There. All right. So with that said, yeah, I'm just going to let those run on their own. That's fine. Give me some, though, just for me. Give me a little bit of that supply. What's that give me? 65. that'll do. Let's just throw the rest in here. I'm done. So that's my personal defense, and these will still do for the standard aliens for now. I just want a stack of 100, and then we're good to go. Or relatively to that. Oh, what did I press? 9, 100, yay, and no extra. Perfect, nailed it. All right. So there's the thing that I wanted to do at the beginning of the episode. Done. We've got advanced ammo for this particular weapon. Nice and out of the way. 5 plus 0.5 physical, so 5.5. Wonderful. Not so great, but hey. It'll start doing it so that these turrets are going to do some serious damage to some bases. And hope you look forward to that when it comes. And you guys be sure to tell me, for those that lasted this long, what you think of the long episode. Those that lasted this long probably will tell me one thing. So I hope you enjoy that then. As I'm just experimenting. So see you later. Hope you enjoy. Bye-bye.